What is going on, everybody? Excuse me. It's me again. It's HorrorFan34, and welcome to another video. Excuse me. Sorry for the coughing, but I figured I'd do the next review for the Christmas Movie Day Challenge that was created by Julie Let's Talk About Movies Cassidy. I tell you what, it was really fun doing the first review for Scrooged with Bill Murray. I mean, that's such a fun movie. Had a great time reviewing the film. And it was just so fun revisiting the film again. Christmas classic, in my opinion. Now we're getting on to another one that's considered a Christmas classic. And it's easily one of the best Christmas films ever. I mean, whenever I think about Christmas films, this is like the first one that always comes to my mind. And actually, the sequel was actually going to be the third review of this challenge. But getting on to this review first, though. That review is going to be on, of course, Home Alone. Now, of course, Home Alone was a film that came out in 1990, and it was such a big phenomenon when it came out. I mean, when this film came out, this was a box office smash, and people did not expect this film to be such a big phenomenon, but it ended up being such a big hit, and still is considered a cult classic today by many people. I mean, it's considered one of the best Christmas films ever. Darn. But before I get on to the actual review, I gotta say I love the look of the Blu-ray Steelbook of this, because this is the Steelbook that I have, and I love the look of it. You have Kevin McAllister doing his, famous pose. Harry and Marv in the background. You got the house in the background. And, of course, Kevin on the back with the blow dryer and the toy gun on his back. I mean, just such an iconic movie. I mean, if you don't know the story of Home Alone... I burped there, I'm sorry about that. But, been a mess doing this review already. I gotta keep clearing my throat. Allergies, But getting on to the actual story itself, you have Kevin McAllister, played by Macaulay Culkin, who has a family, a big family. His mom and his dad. You have his mom, played by Catherine O'Hara, who was in Beetlejuice and a lot of other stuff. Of course, John Hurd plays his dad. Rest in peace, John Hurd. Always was a big fan of John Hurd, whether it be in Chud or many other films that he did, John Hurd. And basically, Kevin McAllister, Macaulay Culkin, ends up having a fight with his family, mainly because of his brother, Buzz, because Buzz ate his cheese pizza, and Kevin gets mad at him, and a fight breaks out, and Macaulay Culkin's character knocks over all the milk and all the soda, and he destroys the pizza and wets all the pizza because he spilled the drinks everywhere, and his family gets mad at him. And you have that great line by Uncle Frank, look what you did, you little jerk. I don't know the actor who played Uncle Frank, but I really like his delivery in the film. He's pretty damn funny. And of course, Kevin gets sent to the attic. And then basically, his family is going on a vacation to Paris on a plane. And one thing leads to another. The family oversleeps the next day, and they barely get on their flight, but they just make it to the airport to get their flight to Paris. Little do they know, they left Kevin home alone by himself. And basically, Kevin is the man of the house now. He has to, do everything around the house. Do the laundry and go to the store. Things like that. And, of course, the whole thing, he has to fight off the two robbers, Harry and Marv, Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern. I mean, everybody knows about this film. Now, getting on to the... First off, I really like the cast. Macaulay Culkin as Kevin does a great job. Love the traps that he sets up and things like that. And Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern as Harry and Marv are just two of the most iconic characters in film history. As the Wet Bandits. I love their dynamic between the two of them. And Joe Pesci, kind of a different thing out of Joe Pesci's zone. Joe Pesci's kind of more of that cursing kind of guy, like a mob movie. And this was kind of like his first step into kid territory, for kids, like a kid's film. Or well, I wouldn't say kid, but a family adult movie, or family adult, more like a family film in a way. But what I love about Home Alone is the cast. Like I really like Catherine O'Hara and John Hurd in their roles, and I love the whole traps that he sets up. Like especially the part where, well, this is before the robbers break in and things like that. But it's when Kevin orders a pizza, and the guy has to use the back door, and then Kevin has the other thing where he's playing the movie. You know, who is it? You know, leave it on the doorstep and get out of here. And he says, "Keep the change, you filthy animal." And I love that dynamic between the pizza guy and the guy on the TV. When Kevin gives him the money, he gives him like a 20-cent tip, which I thought was funny. And the pizza guy just goes, cheapskate. And he's like, "Hey, I'm going to give you to the count of 10 to get you lying off my property. 1, 2, 10. And the guy runs away. You have that great line by Kevin, an extra cheese pizza. A lovely cheese pizza just for me. And like I said, I like Home Alone 2 more because that was the one I saw first, actually, before I saw this one. I like the traps better in the second film, but I love the traps here in the first one. Like, hilarity ensues when the robbers try to break into the home. You have, of course, and like I said, Daniel Stern is so much fun as Marv. He's really, really fun in the role. I think this was the same year Daniel Stern had City Slickers, because I think they were both 1990. Or City Slickers might have been 91. No, I take that back. So I think City Slickers was 91. This was the year before he did City Slickers. And Daniel Stern, I've always really did enjoy him. I think he's kind of underrated. He was also in Chud. Does good in... does really good in the Home Alone films. Very Bad Things he was a lot of fun in. Daniel Stern, I really liked him in Bushwhacked. It's a film that no one talks about when it comes to Daniel Stern. But I like Daniel Stern as an actor. And I'm a big fan of Joe Pesci as well, whether it be Casino or My Cousin Vinny or a lot of other stuff that I really do enjoy. Goodfellas, of course. But some of my favorite traps in the film, like I tell you, the one that makes me cringe all the time is when Daniel Stern, Marv, is going up the basement stairs and he steps on the nail with his bare foot and you hear that like squishy noise, and just Marv's reaction. I absolutely fucking hate this camera. This fucking camera blows. It fucking froze on me again. So pissed off. But what I was trying to say is when Marv is going up the stairs and you hear that squishy noise when he puts his bare foot on the nail and he just screams and falls back down the stairs. Of course, when Joe Pesci gets the blowtorch to the head and he has to stick his head in the snow. Another really good one is when Daniel Stern steps on all the Christmas ornaments in his bare feet. You have a really great line. This is like after when Daniel Stern has the iron dropped on him and after Joe Pesci gets feathers all over him with a fan and they confront one another. And Joe Pesci says to Daniel Stern, "Where the hell did you take your shoes off?" And Daniel Stern kind of thinks for a moment. He's like, "Why the hell are you dressed like a chicken?" Like I said, I love the dynamic between these two guys. I think their dynamic is really, really funny. And the film has a good heart to it as well. You have, of course, Old Man Marley, who helps out Kevin at the very end. And, of course, the final line of the movie, "Kevin, what did you do to my room?" And then Kevin runs away. It's such a classic. Chris Columbus did a great job directing this. Written by John Hughes. Of course, John Candy has a cameo as the polka guy. Polka, 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 polka. No? Little polka twist. John Candy, it's always great to see John Candy in a film. He was always good. I miss John Candy. But if you haven't seen Home Alone yet, I don't know what you've been waiting for. It's a Christmas classic that needs no explanation at all. So that's pretty much it for my review for Home Alone. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.